I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on Blue Review.
Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Um, bum, bum. Ring.
Yeah, not the happiest of Indies here
No.
on a Tuesday morning, but nonetheless, welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant. That is Greg Bergman. And game one of the series between the Dodgers and the Padres. Annoying, frustrating, disappointing. Pick your adjective there, Greg.
I think I'm gonna go with annoying, but I am gonna say what wasn't annoying was that the game was over at 9 o'clock.
That was nice.
That was like
They
on
were.
the dot,
They,
9:00, and the game was over.
I
That
mean,
that
it,
was
it it definitely helps that games in San Diego start about half hour earlier or so compared to at Dodger Stadium. But nonetheless, that game was moving because nobody was scoring. The Dodgers lose 1-0 to the Padres in game one of the 3-game series. We will get into that. Also, some injury updates about some of the pitchers for the Dodgers, so we can kind of keep you posted on that as well. But first, as always, I want to let you know the Blue Review is powered by LAX. From practice to prime time, the all-electric LAX Skylink is being put through its paces in testing, getting ready to deliver reliable and traffic-free airport experience. For more information, visit lawa.org/ESPN. Well, story of the night, I thought, Greg, really was Michael King. Just was great for the Padres for what, 6 innings last night. I mean, just
it was 7, wasn't it? Didn't he have
yeah, you're right.
seven?
It was 7 innings yesterday.
Yeah.
For just all night long, kept the Dodgers off balance. For a long time, they couldn't even get a guy to second base because uh, they kept getting thrown out trying to steal. I mean, Michael King just plain and simple just shoved last night.
Yeah, Michael King basically took everything and just shoved it up their booty, whatever you want to say with that. It was very frustrating night because he was just he was executing his pitches beautifully. Every pitch seemed like it was curving in and just cutting and landing right on the line. He was dotting pitches on on each side, top, bottom. He was phenomenal. Their catcher was, even when they looked close, he would challenge, and that looked, it was always right. It was always
That was annoying.
it was annoying that he was catching guys at second base trying to steal. Like, it was just nonstop. They executed everything to perfection, and there's in those situations, there's not much you can really do about it. The fact is that they played better. Michael King pitched better, just not by a lot. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was amazing, but Michael King just pitched better, and they had chances, but Michael King was outstanding last night and completely had them off balance.
Yeah, 7 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Like the first two guys to get on base were erased at second, thanks to Rodolfo Duran. One just put one on the money to get Mookie Betts in the first, and
Yeah.
then got Shohei on a throw that was up the line. He threw it right into the path of Shohei Ohtani. So all Bogarts had to do was basically just catch the ball, and Ohtani sort of tagged himself out just because of his process of going to second base. But
With
beyond that, just
and
couldn't
the
get anything going.
arm down, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, short of being able to either levitate or just do the limbo underneath the glove, yeah, he's going to be out at this point. But you mentioned Yamamoto, who was fantastic aside from one pitch in the first inning to Miguel Andujar. And I put in the text chat, 2 strike home runs seem to be a problem. And they mentioned it on the broadcast. And I wish I had written it down or remembered it. But of the home runs he's allowed this year, the majority of them have been with 2 strikes. I don't know if you have an explanation for it, other than it just seems like he just has one get away at the worst moment. And that's kind of what happened yesterday.
It feels like that is, I don't have an explanation completely, but it feels like it's the put away pitch, and that he's not executing that. So what that one was a splitter that was left right over the middle of the plate, and it was just smacked. I think he's trying to, when on those out pitches, he just seems to be having a little bit of troubles. And it's the first inning too. After the first inning, he's nails. And that's what it's actually, I found the stat. I was looking for the stat for 2 strikes, but I found the stat for first inning. He has a 6.75 ERA in the first inning. Yeah. And everything else, it gets way better, 0. Especially the second inning. The second inning, it's shut down for him. He gives up nothing. He's only given up 1 hit in the second inning this year. And what you saw yesterday, he gave up 6 pitches. It only took him 6 pitches in the second inning right after. But in the first inning, if you can get him in the first inning, that's when he gets in trouble, just like it happened in against the Brewers when the very first pitch, Jackson Churio crack out of the park in the NLCS, and that was all he gave up. He went the rest of the game and basically did nothing. It's the first inning, it's the 2 strike pitches. A lot of it is just not executing early on and not executing in those big moments.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of been the problem. Mostly this year, we've seen him his last few starts kind of struggle. It was nice that he got back on track last night after a couple of kind of rough outings. The other issue with Yamamoto persists, which isn't a Yamamoto thing. It's just they just don't score runs for him. I don't know what it is. If they just forget how to hit on days Yamamoto pitches, but it's a constant thing. I mean, they had the game a couple turns ago where they scored 8 runs for him. That feels like, it's like the line from Friday, make it enough. It's like, we're going to give you these 8 runs, and if you can somehow stretch those 8 runs over your next 3 starts, then that would be great. Maybe some of it is the opposing pitching. I don't know, but for whatever reason, and this is not just a this year thing. This is a couple of years going now. They just do not score runs for Yamamoto. I don't understand it.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I think it's just that when you're the ace, you usually get the other team's ace, and we know how the Dodgers are everybody's World Series now, so everybody steps their game up. And Anthony Machado put it in our group chat, like, do they not realize this isn't the World Series? But it's important to win these games when they're fighting for first place and they're doing what they're trying to do, and they want to prove that they're not the little brother. But their offense is a mess too. It's just their pitching, the Padres, that is, has been phenomenal. They're not. It's very much, if you don't get the starter, you're probably not going to get it off any of their relievers, because there was a Jason Adam with that stupid little where he gripped the ball, or was it with this weird angle? He's very annoying to watch. I don't like his throwing motion. And then Mason Miller, you saw what he does. The guy's unbelievable. But again, they had chances on all of them.
They had chances in Miller. I mean, he came out and couldn't find the strike zone to start with. I mean, he walks the first 2 guys, is sort of all over the place, and then at that point gets a visit to the mound and just sort of locks in where he gets Will Smith on pop-up. He strikes out Muncy, and then Pages on the fielder's choice to end the game. Yeah. But he was wobbling at the beginning, and it looked like the Dodgers were going to have an opportunity, just couldn't quite get it done, which I guess brings us to the other big point of the night. They had an opportunity in, was it the 6th inning, when Hyeseong Kim with 2 outs gets on a single. Shohei gets an infield single that Duran, maybe the only mistake he made last night, throws the ball away. And we discussed it in the text chat. I'm sure everybody watching the game was sort of discussing it. Dino Ebo throws up the stop sign at third base, and the question is, should he have sent Hyeseong Kim? I mean, it's a thing we can debate forever and ever. I know that you've sort of kind of gone back and forth on whether or not they should have sent Kim last night.
So in the moment, I absolutely thought, and because also it's a lot of it is camera angles and what we see versus what Dino Ebel sees. I tend to have issues with Dino Ebel and sending and not sending guys. He's a little bit he's frustrating to me over there at third base. But that one, when you see Tatis bobble the ball, you have your fastest guy on the field. His nickname is the Comet. Hyeseong literally means comet, and he's rounding third hard. I just thought that was your shot. You were getting nothing against Michael King, and they showed stats later on is that 6th and 7th at 6th inning and on, his ERA balloons up to 12. And so like if you were going to get him, that's where you were going to get him. And so that, to me, in that moment, it felt like that was the time to move on, to send him home. However, after watching it a few times, and this is obviously hindsight, but watching it over and over again, I think he would have been out at home. And to your credit, you said right away, I think he would have been out at home.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he would have been hosed at the plate. I thought, you know, just the relay might have gotten him. It was certainly going to be close, but I looked at it as, okay, maybe he's going to be out. You still have runner on third. I know it's 2 outs, and the first 2 at bats, Mookie Betts had good swings against Michael King. He put that ball inside the third baseline for a base hit to start the game in the first. And then even in the second at bat, he lined out, but he hit the ball hard. So I felt like, okay, you've got a chance. If Mookie really is seeing the ball well against King, why not give him the opportunity? Unfortunately, he popped up, and that was sort of that. But, you know, I understood the thought process, right? I think you could have gone either way. Like, maybe you do force the issue and they don't make a perfect throw and you score and you tie the game. And now you got Shohei probably on second base. I see both sides of it. I thought in the moment, though, I thought Kim would have been out. So, you know, it is what it is.
He probably would be. I don't know. I still believe, and I'm going back and forth again, because I do think he would have been thrown out, but I also think that you send him in that situation, and that's your opportunity. The Padres were doing nothing after that hit in the first inning from Andujar. They were getting nothing going, and their offense is not very good anyway. So if that's your chance to tie, and even if he is thrown out, then you just have Mookie starting the next inning. I understand your point. I understand the other points. In my opinion, that was the time to send, just for the chance to score a run when you were really struggling to score runs.
Yeah, you know, I'd be curious to hear Dino's thought process in the moment and sort of his after process, right? Like, knowing what he knows now, obviously it's easy to say, I should have sent him. But, you know, it would be interesting to hear what Dino thought about the whole thing too.
Yeah, he would have been right. Like, I think at the end of the day, he would have made the right. His whole thing is, I think I made the right decision. He would have probably been thrown out. It's just about the situational for my end of it. That's all.
Yeah. Somewhere in the multiverse is a timeline where Hyeseong Kim keeps rounding third and keeps going and maybe scores a run. Who knows? So enough about that. Some updates, though, from the pitching side of things for the Dodgers. Blake Snell is expected to have surgery. I believe today is what the plan is. He's going to have the nano needle surgery, which probably doesn't mean much to regular folks like us, but it is the same type of surgery that Tarek Skubal had for the Detroit Tigers. And after just a couple of weeks, Skubal is already playing catch, throwing a baseball again. So the hope is that with Snell having this type of surgery, that maybe it shaves about a month or so off the recovery time. I think the early expectation is they're expecting to have him back right after the All-Star break, right about the same time that Edwin Diaz is coming back. So that seems like a positive, Greg, that maybe Snell is not going to be out until August. July is much, much better than August for his return.
Yeah, I would much prefer to see him in July than August, just to have a little bit of more ramp-up time for the playoffs. So you get all of August, all of September. He doesn't have to, maybe if he has a pitch count early on at the end of July, then you have 2 months worth of pitching, probably about 8 starts that you can get, maybe even 9 out of him. That's a great thing to get, just to have him ramped up. And this is what Dr. Clapper told us before, or what told on the shows, and he told me when I called him after the Edwin Diaz thing. This is a very non-invasive surgery where they just go in, suck out all the loose bodies, and then you're pretty much ready. The way that he said it, though, is that you could start pitching again in a couple of weeks. I don't think that's the way they're going to play this, more partly because I think they just want to give him more time to not go back on the IL and just to have a little bit more rest to be ready for the playoffs, but also because that's just not how they do things. So for Skubal, it makes sense for him. Like, hey, I'm in a contract here. I need to get something this year. I'm not going to be in Detroit. I need to show you what I can do all the time. So he's kind of come back, and he's going to come back as fast as possible. Maybe, hopefully, not hurt himself. But for these guys, for Diaz, for Snell, we have enough depth on the Dodgers that you're like, okay, you can kind of sit for a little bit and just be healthy.
Yeah, I did see Scooble's going to throw a bullpen session this
Second one.
week. It's yeah, so I mean he's about 2 weeks removed from surgery and is already throwing. To your point, he is playing for a contract. He's also trying to get the Tigers back into contention. I mean, they're below 500. They're only 5.5 games out, so still plenty of time for them to get back in. And I think he wants to try to see if he can help push the Tigers back into a playoff race at this point too.
So, and I guess
We'll
there could be also. I mean, if he wants to be traded, if they're out of it at the deadline, and you're talking about how they're 5 games back, if they're even worse without him out there, he wants to be out and ready so that he's not going to fail a physical if he gets traded. So
Yeah.
those are all things that he has to consider based on where the Tigers are, where he wants to be. Does he want to stay with the Tigers? That all is all questions. So for him, it's better to come back now and show what he can do.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see what obviously we'll keep an eye on Scooble from a distance, but more importantly, we will keep a closer eye on Snell and
Yes.
Edwin Diaz as they try to get ready to come back. Hopefully, again, sometime after the All-Star break. So we're looking at probably mid to late July potentially for the return of one or both of those guys. The other news: Tyler Glasnow has been shut down. He went on the 15-day IL with back spasms. The initial hope was that it wasn't going to be serious, that he was going to be able to return when his time was up, when he was eligible to come off the injured list. You said it at the time that, oh, it's not serious. Hopefully it'll be short. And you were like, see you in July, Tyler Glasnow. Hopefully it's not that serious, but this is the yearly Tyler Glasnow shutdown story that we seem to get.
I mean, is anybody surprised about this one? Especially with him specifically, with Tyler Glasnow, was anybody really surprised that he's being shut down? And even if I'm not going to talk about the severity of the fact is, he was going to get shut down at some point, and he's going to get shut down for a long period of time, because that's just how Tyler Glasnow pitches. This is who he is, what he does, and also because this is the way it's very much a Blake Snell situation. We just want you ready for the playoffs, the regular season. As long as we can stay afloat, doesn't matter. So we're going to go. Not that it doesn't matter, but we have enough pitching. We have enough depth. You two can take some time off and be able to be ready for the postseason. Glasnow being out does not surprise me. It is disappointing because I'm just kind of tired of him being on the IL, but I guess you can say the same thing about Snell. So,
yeah, I'm going to say that I'm going to take home the Fell For It Again award. I really thought, okay, maybe it's not so serious. Maybe he'll just miss a couple of turns in the rotation and he'll be back. Like, I should have known better, and that's on me. That's
right.
that's on me.
That's very admirable of you.
I really thought that this was going to be different, that this time was going to be Tyler Glasnow. Okay, he's on the 15-day IL. It's going to be 15 days. So what would that be in theory? What, potentially 3 starts that he misses? Okay, and then he's back, and it's not so bad. I'll take the L on that one, because it's the typical Tyler Glasnow. And so now the question is, we don't really know how long it's going to be. He's been shut down from throwing altogether. They do add Eric Lauer, and he's expected to at some point join the rotation to kind of keep it as a 6-man rotation. So we'll see what he has to offer. To your point, they're just gonna err on the side of caution, which means Glasnow is going to be out for the foreseeable future until he's ready to go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have more on it than that, really.
Yeah, it is very much injury riddled at this moment, which is the Dodgers every single year. And Eric Lauer, from what I saw, I'm sure he's going to go into the rotation, because that's he is a starter. They were talking about him being a reliever, long relief guy, but with only a 5-man rotation, they want to be in a 6-man. That would make sense. There's also, I don't know if you saw, Brusar Gratterall was moved to the 60-day IL.
Yeah,
that one. I'm going to say I am never fooled by that one. I got killed by a lot of people. You people in the chat right there, killing me every time I talked about it. Every time I talked about Brusar, I say, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. He's now moved to the 60-day IL because he's injured. I just don't know if we will ever see him. And even when he gets close, I don't trust it until he's actually on the mound and actually pitches multiple times. Because remember, was it 2 years ago? He came out and he was injured in his first appearance, and then he did come back from that. And then
came back, yeah.
But I don't trust Brusdar at all to come back, and that sucks because I really enjoy watching him pitch.
Yeah, I don't know, obviously not having seen him or anything, just sort of reading about it, I get the feeling that one injury has come as he's sort of overcompensating while recovering from another injury, right? He's coming back from the shoulder surgery and in the process has hurt his back. So he's shut down from that. He's on the 60-day IL. It's unfortunate. You wish all the best, but it is sort of looking like it's going to be tough for us to ever see him, at least in a Dodger uniform again, just after missing so much time. I don't know how he sort of works his way back at this point, which really stinks because he was fun to watch. He was productive when he was healthy. He just hasn't been healthy in a while. So that's too bad.
Weird pitcher too. He didn't throw. Not a lot of strikeouts. Hard thrower.
He threw so hard,
and he got soft contact. I don't know how he was able to make that happen, but he did. He just didn't strike guys out and got thrown 100 miles an hour. Getting soft contact is amazing to me, but he was able to do it.
Yeah. Just who knows? Don't understand it at all. So we will see. But those are your updates. Your pitching.
I got one more.
You do? Okay. Yeah.
Jack Dreyer. Jack Dreyer is on the 15-day IL. They're again another one. They're hoping that he is able to come back after the 15 days. Dave Roberts doesn't expect him to be out long, but I never know. I don't.
So we'll see him in August.
Yeah, I don't. I'm hoping not with that one. That one, if he goes longer, I'll take the bullet on that one and say that I was fooled. I feel like this is going to be one. It's inflammation. It's in his shoulder. Hopefully, it's going to be something that can just kind of go away and be just after the 15 days. They are saying that they're not worried, but obviously we all worry when it comes to what Dave says to us.
Also, shoulders are weird and scary, and we haven't figured that out.
Better than elbow.
True. Although, they've sort of perfected Tommy Johns now. I mean, they take you out for a year, but you seem to come back okay. Like now you get like a Tommy John surgery punch card. If you get 3 of them, then you get like a free ice cream or something like that.
Hey, it keeps Dr. Neil Elatrage in.
Yeah, man. You know what? I mean, obviously he does amazing work, but as a baseball fan, when you read that one of your players is talking to Dr. Neil Elatrage, you sort of hold your breath. It's usually not
that's who, by the way, Blake Snell is going to go see to do the nano needle.
All right, Dr. Neil, get it done. I look forward to hearing that he had successful surgery, which, side note, I've never heard a team just say, you know what, they botched the surgery. It's always so-and-so had successful surgery. Nobody ever says, oh, I got screwed up and they went in on the wrong elbow or something.
Well, I mean, that's what you want, right? You hope that you have a team doctor that's not your surgeries. Like,
very fair.
You're not going to like some little place that's just like, oh, hey, I have a needle. Let's do this.
Let's go. That's fair. All right. Tonight, game 2 of the series between the Dodgers and the Padres. Dodgers trying to get back on the winning side of things. Starting today, just a half game back. Behind San Diego in the standings. It'll be Emmett Sheehan getting the starts for the Dodgers, going against Griffin Canning, who you may remember from such films as the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The bad news is not so much that Griffin Canning is 0-2. The bad news is that his ERA is 10.64.
So 1 run, 2
do
runs?
with that what you will. Also, his history against the Dodgers, he's actually been pretty good in his career. 3-1, a 3.64 earned run average in 6 games, 6 appearances, 24 strikeouts, 13 walks, 3 home runs allowed. So he's been kind of on the better side of things. So that combined with the 10 point whatever ERA he has right now, this could be a 2-1 ball game. Just
I mean, this will also show you what the Dodgers are going to be. Where was those games at the end against the Giants and against the Angels? Was that just because of who the opponents were, or was it because they actually figured something out? They obviously didn't figure something out last night, but I will attribute that to the pitching fully. No, but Griffin Canning is a bad pitcher. He has been bad. He is not pitching well at all. This is something that, despite the fact that he pitched well against the Dodgers, he's been bad. So if they're serious and that was something that was a turning point for them, they will show it tonight. If we come back here tomorrow and it's another 1-0, 2-1 game, then we are starting to be like, okay, is it just that?
Yeah, Canning making his 4th start of the season. His last 2 have been bad. He gave up 6 runs and 4 1/3 against the Cardinals on May 8th, and then his last time out on May 14th in Milwaukee, 6 runs on 5 hits in an inning and 2/3. Walked 4, struck out 2 in that one. So the Dodgers hoping he does not somehow get right against them tonight. We will see. And we will talk about it tomorrow because we are done on this episode. Stick around for the Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up right after us. Thanks to Tim for production assistant. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out and participating as well. But we'll see you tomorrow here on the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Greg Bergman, I'm Marcus Grant, back with you 6:30 to 6:55 a.m. Tip.